Happy Wednesday. I think I think I got to do what it says on the tin. I need to make a character for the One Ring. I'm playing in a game tonight. I think it's set up. The GM, the referee. I don't know. I don't remember what the official word, what they call them in the One Ring, but whoever that person is who's running the game is running a couple of one shots. They may lead something down the line. I'm not sure. I just know, which is fine. I just know that I need to create a character, or I don't need to, but I feel like it's just helpful to have one. I can always create one later. It has to be a Hobbit. We're doing all Hobbits, I think. There might have been an exception, but I think maybe somebody already claimed the exception. That's fine. I'm down with playing a Hobbit. But it's been a minute since I've looked through kind of One Ring stuff. So I need to kind of go through and do this. There is an online, they provided this link, so I don't know if there's multiple ones, but there's an online, which I guess I should share, an online character generator for the One Ring called One Ring Match. And that is what I am using. In case anybody wants it, One Ring Match, which is, there we go. Can I pin that? All right, it's pinned in the chat. I'll try to remember to add it to the kind of show notes stuff later on. So, I could just run down and just throw Hobbit in here and just go, but that doesn't seem, what's the word? What do I mean? It's while that would kind of get me through the immediate task, it wouldn't actually get me acclimated to what I'm going to be doing. So I've got to open the chapter 4 here, characteristics, which I think is where we go over character stuff. Part of me is wondering if I should go. Oh, maybe I actually need to go. You know what? Wait, am I going forward or am I going back? Hold on a minute. Maybe I should. Whoops. Where am I going? Men of Bree. All right, let's look at Hobbits of the Shire. This is chapter 3. So I went back to chapter 3. I'm just going to see what else I might be missing. Okay, glossary. Oh, I probably should have started. I think when I was looking at it, I didn't have my glasses on. I think I saw it as adventures and not adventurers. So this makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Your characters. Following pages show you how to craft a player hero drawn from one of 6 heroic cultures. Using the guidelines presented, and then create your own hero. Heck yeah. Complete with strengths and weaknesses, possessions, and aspirations. Great. That's what I want. All right. Some cold and quickly, still got some ice in it, but quickly melting water for the working man. Okay, to create a character, each player must first choose a heroic culture. Now I know my heroic culture, I believe. It is Hobbits of the Shire. So I got that. Okay, so after I've done that part of it, made their choice, refer to the appropriate write-up page, follow those steps. I'm being told there's some buffering going on, so apologies if it gets stuttery for the moment. Hopefully it will pass. Okay. Choice, go to the heroic culture write-up page. We will record the cultural blessing, determine your attributes, calculate strength, heart, and wits. Target numbers. Each target number is equal to 20 minus the attribute score. Calculate your derived stats, endurance, hope, and parry. Record your skill and combat proficiency ratings. Choose your distinctive features. Choose a name and age. All right. And finally, after that, which I'm assuming some of this will get automated by the sheet, I hope, but hopefully we'll get some instructions when we get to our looking at the Hobbits. Players finalize their character creation process by moving on to page 44. Okay, and applying the steps described below. So we choose a calling from among Captain, Champion, Messenger, Scholar, Treasure Hunter, and Warden. We spend previous experience points. Okay. Choose our gear, record our Valor and Wisdom scores at 1, and then choose your starting reward and virtue. All right, and then obviously we can't do gathering the company. That will do that tonight, I presume. All right, so let's see. Does this link internally? No. So we'll have to zip down Oh, it's giving me more. Okay, so let's read a bit of this. In Middle-earth, the culture to which an adventurer belongs often defines them more profoundly than simply in terms of customs and traditions. For this reason, the most important choice that players must make is to select the culture of origin of their adventurers. Each heroic culture's write-up is composed along the same format of presentation. Okay, fine. So we have characteristics, attributes. There are 3 in the One Ring: strength, hearts, and wits. A player hero with a high strength score can be tough and fit, or quick and alert, or physically attractive or imposing. So strength here, it's kind of an overall sort of body, I guess, fitness, athletics maybe. Every aspect of an adventure that relies on vigor or physical well-being is represented in the game by strength. Okay, so that makes, I think we can get that. And a lot of games have done that. I don't know that I love it necessarily. It's hard to say because in my really rules light game that I guess looks like I'm going to be running tomorrow for the Daniel group, I pretty much got rid of them altogether, just for ease of use. Just your class basically tells you what your kind of your better physical attribute is. But I also do like, in the classic D&D sense and beyond, the idea that you might be, just because you're strong doesn't mean you're fast. Just because you're fast doesn't mean you're strong. And just because you're strong doesn't mean you're tough, kind of thing. So I do kind of like, I feel like the kind of classic D&D attributes actually work fairly well. I mean, I would sub out wisdom intelligence for maybe something a little bit different. But on the physical side, I actually think it's a pretty good trio. But I don't have a problem with when they get condensed down, especially if maybe the game's not really about that kind of thing. Okay, moving on. Heart measures an adventurer's capacity for emotion, empathy, and enthusiasm. A player hero with high heart score can be fiery, energetic, and hard to daunt. Activities that benefit from a passionate or dynamic temper may be influenced by a player hero's heart score. The enthusiasm part is interesting. A player hero with a high wits rating can be clever, attentive, and ingenious. Any action that calls for an adventurer to be sharp-witted, sensible, or wise benefits from a player hero's wits score. Yeah, and these two were kind of really interesting, right? Because I have not played the One Ring before. I've read some of it. I think at one point I still want to play the Aragorn mode, the solo mode, with the One Ring, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. And this is where I think it's going to be I don't know if a learning experience, but I'm going to have to kind of keep in mind these things that, whereas in kind of the games that I usually am playing, your wits are your wits, all right? However clever I can be as a player is how clever my character can be, more or less, and not have to roll like, how clever are you? And then kind of roll the die. I mean, I know the intelligence does it sometimes, but it doesn't tend to be how I use it or the games I run and use it. I think intelligence comes to come up, it's, do you know a thing? Like, your cleverness is saying I can put together a rocket using some guano and blah, blah, blah. But then the intelligence might be, well, kind of like more along, do you know that knowledge? But the actual plan of doing the thing is wits. But I'm not sure how the One Ring uses wits. I mean, I don't have any practical idea. So that'll be something I'll have to keep in mind and remember. And depending on what kind of character I want to play, I guess maybe remember... if I'm choosing, I don't know if we'll get down whether I forget, am I choosing these? Or are they rolling for these? How are we doing these? But I don't know, because I tend to like to play people who have wits. I don't really usually play the witless, but we'll see. All right, target numbers. The 3 attribute ratings are used to determine a player hero's standard target numbers. The default difficulty levels of all roles made to challenge the characteristics of a hero. Each attribute target number is equal to 20 minus its corresponding attribute score. So the strength target number is used in conjunction with all strength skills, and when resolving attack rolls. Heart is used in conjunction with all heart skills when making valor rolls, for example, to resist the effects of dread. And then wits is used for all wits skills and when making rolls of wisdom, for example, to resist the effects of sorcery and greed. Ooh. And then there are some derived stats. Endurance and hope are the fundamental resources that keep an adventurer going. Endurance points are lost while engaging in strenuous activities. Hope points are spent voluntarily by players when their heroes try to overcome their limits. The parry score sets the target number for all attack rolls targeting a player hero. Okay. All right, I think I'm about as set as I'm going to be. Oh, we have skills. Skill and combat proficiencies going from unskilled to prodigious. All right. Let's see. I don't think I have to worry about the languages because I think we're all being hobbits. I'm not sure what I would pick if I get a secondary language, but I'll worry about that a little bit later. 3 attributes. Let's see. Distinctive features. 3 attributes give a good impression of an adventure, but they fall short in defining what sets one individual apart from another. Distinctive features are traits typically displayed by heroes from a given culture that are used to add nuance. Okay, languages, typical names. That's fine. Get some art. Bardings. I'm not worried about Bardings. Dwarves of Durin's Folk. Not worried about them either. Elves of Linden. Nope. Here we go. Hobbits of the Shire. You wish to go and see the great mountains and hear the pine trees and the waterfalls and explore the caves and wear a sword instead of a walking stick. Hobbits are small. Hobbits are a small and merry folk possessing a love for time-honored traditions and respectable ways and a strong dislike for anything out of the ordinary. If hobbits had their way, the days would go by in an unchanging world as they have since anyone can remember, at least in their land, the Shire. But since the return of Mr. Bilbo Baggins from his adventure with a group of dwarves and a traveling wizard, something has changed. Stories about remote lands, dark woods, giants, elves, and forgotten halls beneath the earth have started to circulate among hobbits of a more adventurous sort. And with every year, another 1 or 2 discreetly disappear to go and have adventures. And I am one of those 1 or 2, or my character will be. All right, characteristics, I think we know. So, hobbits are smaller than men, even smaller than dwarves, and might be mistaken for children of men by those who do not know of their existence. They've never been warlike, but for all their gentle appearance, they are surprisingly tough and difficult to intimidate or kill. A merry folk, hobbits possess a cheerful spirit and a friendliness that makes them good companions. Okay, so our coming of age is 33. All right. Cultural blessing, hobbit sense. Hobbits have learned their place in the world a long time ago, and they display a robust capacity for insight that many folks mistake for lack of courage. No visions or wild fantasies can tempt them, as they do not seek power or control over others. Your wisdom rolls are favored, and you gain 1d on all shadow tests made to resist the effects of greed with a capital G. Okay. Let's see. So I'm looking at this. So I've got my hobbits. And I don't want to be Hildewara. Pimpernel Goodchild. Oh yeah, I gotta keep Pimpernel. Oh, that's good. Pimpernel Goodchild. Okay. All right. This says creation choices. I don't know what that does. I see. All right, so I hopefully I can go and if I want to keep that name, I can. Am I going to be able to fiddle with these? Okay, there's a oh, I see. Oh, okay, all right. We're going to have to. How does this work if I want to change this out? Huh. I don't. Do I have to? I'm not sure if I want to. All right, I'll just have to put Peony Noakes. All right, I think when I'm okay, I'll have to put Pimpernel back in there. Hey, Croco. Hobbiton, eh? Yes, Hobbiton. Or I know not necessarily. It could be from where was it Tookland or whatever, or is it Buckland? Not Tookland, Buckland. I could be from Buckland, or I could be from somewhere else. I could be from Mickle Delving. Let's see. Due to their reduced size, hobbits cannot use larger weapons effectively. The weapons available to hobbits are... Okay, that's fine. Some of those. Standard living, common. All right, choose one set of attributes or roll a success die. All right. Longo Gardener. I like Pimpernel, but I'll have to come back and put that in at the end if I can remember. Okay, choose a set of attributes. So... I don't know. I'm trying to see. I'm not sure. Strength, heart, and wits. So wits was affects your wisdom and your fear stuff. Heart, stout, and then strength. I feel like, well, some of those hobbits got to be stronger than those. So I could go 4, 6, 4, 3, 7, 4. get a lot of 3, 6, 5, 4, 5, 5, 2, 6, 6. So I got a lot of wits, a lot of heart, but not a lot of strength. Maybe I'll do that. How do I? Is this gonna? It's not. No, I don't want 275. 266. Yeah. Maybe I'll do 266. 266 sounds reasonable. Pearl Boffin. I wish it gave me a way to Ismbold Goodbody. I'm going to change the name. I'll see what their names they have. Okay, but this got the 266. All right, so now what? So, okay, I got that. Derived stat, strength. Yep. Calculate the following scores based on your character's. Okay, endurance. Oh, you're saying your endurance is, yep, right. That. Okay, I got that. All right. Right. I see now. Okay, so they've got all those. Copy the listed skill ranks. Copy the listed skill ranks onto the character sheet, then choose one skill among the two underlined and mark as favored. Okay. Copy the listed skill ranks and mark it as fair. The two underlined, mark one of them as favorite. So stealth or courtesy. Ooh. I can't tell here what these check marks mean. How is it telling me which? Oh, how are all these checked? I think I'm gonna I may need to do this. Okay. I see. I don't know that I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, so I'm gonna undo all these so that I can do them myself because I'm not understanding how this character generator's generating. So I'm gonna just. I'm sure it's doing things properly. I just feel like maybe it's better I do it myself. So I think it's adding. I think not the problem, but I think what's happening is that it's doing a bunch of steps for me, and as I'm trying to roll back some of these, it's not helping. All right, so awe 0, athletics 0, awareness. I'm gonna say that's 2, right? That would be what 2 means. Hunting 0, song 2, craft 1. And hearten 0, travel 0, insight 2, healing 1, courtesy 2, battle 0, persuade 2, stealth 3, scan 0, explore 0, riddle 3, lore 0. Now I can pick courtesy or stealth. I have no idea. And this is, and I wish, this is where I wish Croco asked about what the stat range is possible. There's basically an array. So if you can see up here, I just kind of maxed out my non-strength ones. I'm not going to be a strong guy. Okay. Combat proficiencies, bow or swords 2, 1 combat proficiency 1. Well, I'm not going to be good with a sword, so I'll pick bows 2 and 1 combat proficiency 1. I'll take the 1 right. I'll take spears. A gentleman's weapon, the spear. Or should I take an axe? No, I'll take a spear. All right. Distinctive features. Choose 2 distinctive features among the ones listed. So where are those? Eager. Okay, I see traveling gear. I see that. Where are distinctive features? Oh, I see. So there's eager, fair-spoken, faithful, honorable, inquisitive, keen-eyed, merry, and rustic. I'll take keen-eyed works. I'm not sure. And, inquisitive or fair. I think if I were to go with, so still haven't figured out which one of these I want to be. If I go with stealth, I think inquisitive would be good. But maybe I'll take fair spoken. Oops. And then I guess I'll take courtesy. Am I creating the most gimped hobbit that ever lived? We shall see. Languages and typical names. Hobbits speak only common speech, preserving the use of a few words and names of their own forgotten tongue. All right. So we got male names. Did they pick? Where's Ismbold? Oh, it is there. Is that? But they must have added some because the Pimpernel is not one of the names. Oh, it is. It's the female name. Oh, then I can't. I'm going to be a dude, so I can't be. But I'll be Reginald. I like. So I'll take Reginald. Reginald Roper. Reginald Rumble. Oh, Reginald Roper. There we go. Mr. Roper. Okay. Keen-eyed, fair-spoken. Yeah, I'm going to have to come back. I got the blessing. That's fine. I need my... Okay, I don't have my calling or anything yet. All right, so I think we're doing good so far. All right, that's okay. That's it. So, okay, I don't know what the favored part... I'm going to have to go through a whole relearning process when I get to the game. But okay, so we're done with this part. So we've picked our people callings. Here we go. All right. Leaving home and setting off on the road is a courageous choice, often considered reckless by a hero's family and folk. You are reckless! Adventurers leave behind all they know and love, so what is it that motivates and pushes them towards danger and the unknown? Whatever it is that motivates the player heroes, it must be something that for them is worth the risk of crossing swords with the curved blades of orcs. In the One Ring, this motivation is represented by an adventurer's calling. All right, so we have the captain, champion, messenger, scholar, treasure hunter, or warden. Well, I can tell you right now, given his stats, captain, probably not it. Champion, definitely not it. I could go scholar. Treasure hunter is interesting. Warden doesn't sound like a fit. Krakow says, maybe Tolkien had some rules for creating names written down somewhere. I mean, he's using a lot of like Old English, and he's got a lot of different I think sources. I'm sure people have dug up where the Hobbit names tend to come from. And there are always exceptions, I think, that he throws in there too. But yeah, I'm fine with taking from the list. All right, callings follow a standard procedure. So they have some favored skills, an additional distinctive feature, and a shadow path. Okay, so this is how we get more favored skills. I see. All right, so the captain... He stood up and seemed suddenly to grow taller, and his eyes gleamed a light, keen and commanding. When the world is on the brink of ruin, it is the duty of all individuals of worth to rise and take the lead. Okay. So two skills among battle and enhearten and persuade. Favored. Okay, those are the favored skills. And then... I don't think I'm going to go for the lure of power. Cargo says, kind of combining class and background. Yeah, a bit. I mean, well, I don't know, because your Hobbit is your background. So the background is this part here, which does some things, right? So it's imagine if it's more of a life path, I think. Your calling is your class, right? But it seems like a lot of what your character's like is actually from your, what do they call it? Your heroic culture? Is that what they call it? Something like that. So, Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip that. Champion, yeah, I'm not doing that. Messenger, courtesy, song, and travel. The wise hold that evil days lie, and that to keep hope, all who fight the enemy must be as one. Yet many miles and centuries of isolation separate the free peoples, and estrangement breeds mistrust. You have decided it is your duty to travel to distant lands, carrying tidings and warning people of the coming dangers. Now, that's interesting. So if I went stealth, I could take stealth, and maybe I'd switch out spear for axe, just because I think an axe is just more. And a little bit of a role-playing sense. I feel like someone who's traveling the wilderness might get more use out of an axe than a spear for just various things. Obviously, I have the bow for hunting purposes. I'm going to hunt. But I can use the axe to cut trees, cut rope. It's got a lot of utility. The axe. So, yeah, maybe I'll switch out for the axe. I'll take messenger. I'll try it. I'll take messenger. And then I'm going to take stealth. That's from my Hobbit stuff. So now, on top of that, I can choose courtesy, song, and travel. Had I taken courtesy? Oh, maybe I was going to, had I taken courtesy? Well, I guess I've taken courtesy now. I think, did I mark that from before, or did I forget to unmark it? All right, so I can take courtesy from before, and then I'll take travel. Hey, no. I'm not going to do song. Additional distinctive feature is folklore. Okay, I'm down with that. Oh, I think maybe I'm supposed to put that here. Okay. Croco says, I think there's a pretty solid solo mode for the One Ring. Not sure if it's in a separate book, though. It is in a separate doc, which I have. Yeah, it's Aragorn mode, and yeah, I've been meaning to try that. I will try that at some point, because I do want to. Okay, so my shadow path is wandering madness. I'm down with some wandering madness. Let's see. Traveling afar might be the duty chosen by a messenger, but it carries the risk of never finding a place to fight for. The road goes ever on and on. It's true. But whither then? Oh, I don't know. Apparently madness. All right. And what is folklore? You possess some knowledge of the many traditional customs, beliefs, and stories of the various communities that compose the free peoples, likely the result of your wanderings. This information may help you when dealing with strangers, allowing you to come up with some useful facts regarding their folk or smattering of the appropriate language. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, interesting. So if I had taken song, I would have had now, but I want travel. I want travel. Having no idea what I'm doing or what we're doing tonight, I imagine there might be travel involved, so I'm just going to stick with travel. Okay, so I got, let's see, 2 favored, right, 2 from those, and then 1 from me and the Hobbit, so I got 1, 2, 3. I think that's correct. Okay, and now, what's now? So I've done those. Previous experience. All right, so here we go. The ability levels of all newly created player heroes can now be raised to represent their experiences prior to their life as adventurers. Players have 10 points to spend on raising skills and combat proficiencies. The cost of raising each ability is shown in the 2 tables to the right. The first table gives the cost for skill levels, while the second table shows for combat proficiency. Okay, so we can basically rise them up as long as we have points. All right, so I'm definitely going to want to raise up my travel. So I have 10 points. So now I have 9 points. And let's say 9 to 8, 8 to 7. So 7 points. Do I want to go? Okay, I do have axe and bows already. I think probably okay. Stealth, riddle, courtesy, athletic. Let's see. Hunting. All right, so I have 7 points. Yeah, okay, I'll put one on hunting. 6 points. 3 points. And now I can either raise. I'll explore. I think that's it. Okay. So there we go. I think I did that correct. Croco asks, how does the travel skill impact traveling rules or procedures if I know? I do not know yet. Hey, Ian, but I will find out because I'm going to want to know what I've done. What I'm doing. All right, so I think that's correct. Starting gear, war gear. 1 weapon for each combat proficiency. Yep, I got the bow. They gave me a cudgel. I got the axe and the bow. That's fine. I don't know if I need the cudgel. I don't think I'm supposed to have a cudgel because... Or does everybody have a cudgel? Let's see. Starting heroes can choose 1 weapon for each combat proficiency for which they have a rating and their preferred selection. Oh, yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to have one because I don't have a cudgel. So it's... Damage is 5. Injury is 18. Load is 2. Unless you get a cudgel for free. If so, I will put it back. Okay, let's see. So the protection score of a coat of armor is recorded separately from that of a helm. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Maybe I should back up here. Players should record their chosen weapons and armor and shields. Following notes. All right. A shields. Well, I imagine. Do I have any? I can just have something. All right, let's see. Overleaf. So it says players get to choose weapons and armor they want their characters to carry. Starting heroes can choose 1 weapon for each combat proficiency and their preferred selection of armors, helms, and shields. Yeah, so a cudgel for the clever. Yeah, cudgel for Kugel. All right, so I think I'm doing that correct. So I only have the 2, and maybe brawling doesn't count. It's not in there, so I'll take. You know what? I'm going to take the. I'm going to say. I'm going to imagine that the people who made the people who made this app know something that may be not apparent to me. So I'll just put it in there. It doesn't have any load, so it's kind of a freebie. So that's fine. But maybe a dagger would probably be better. It does less damage. No, I'll knock people out. Or, maybe. All right, now in terms of armor, we have a leather corselet. 2d6 type leather armor. I guess I'll take it. And a helm. Sure. I don't think I'm going to have a shield. I'm going to go shieldless. We'll see how that works out for me. Traveling gear does not need to be annotated in detail in a character sheet, only if a player wishes to do so and is not given a load rating. All right, so what is traveling gear? Heroes' traveling gear includes the belongings that adventurers carry when on a journey, in addition to their weapons and armor. In winter, this includes boots and thick, warm clothes. Okay, useful items. So what are they saying? We're common. So we get 2 useful items. Ian says, any Hobbit shield should appropriately double as a saucepan. I thought that would be what the cudgel is. It's not like a... I do like that that bit in the, Fellowship of the Ring when they're fighting the orcs and the troll and Moria and Sam is beating on them with the pan and they're thinking that boom, boom sound as he's knocking them about. Okay. I think I'll go with what I've got. So... they gave me some liquor to increase strength and a horn of bardic battle. I don't know what that is. Where is just traveling gear listed somewhere? Not there. Where did they get that? Oh, that is. So I get, okay, so traveling gear, I see. They put the useful items in the traveling gear slot. So I get 2. Oh, all right. So a knife for skinning rabbits, a little box of salt to cook. Is that 1 item? I'm going to say it's 1 item, right? A liquor to infuse strength that enheartens. I'm going to say as a traveler, or as a messenger, I think I want the... I'll lean into that aspect. And then 2, a windproof lantern for scanning, a balm to soothe pain, a suit of expensive clothing and earrings of pearl, a sunstone to navigate in bad weather. Yeah, I'm going to take that, right? I took explore, didn't I? Did I only take 1 explore? How much explore did I take? I took 2. All right. Or, ooh, a detailed set of maps. Ooh. All right, I'm going to take that one. I know these are examples and I could come up with other stuff, but I don't have no time for that. So I'm just going to take it. All right. Hobbit ponies and full-sized horses. Common. The hero brings an old horse or half-starved pony. Well, I want my half-starved pony, gosh darn it. I'm going to take it. I don't see anywhere to put it. So I'm going to put it here, I guess. 1 vigor. Okay. I get it. I want it. Oh, yeah. Sure. PDF. What's my guy's name? Reginald Roper. You better save all my shite. Okay, you did. Good. All right. I was about to freak out. Okay. Ponies and horses. Starting reward and virtue. Here we go. There are many things that may betray the true nature of adventurers. It may be their weather-beaten look, or the grim determination that surfaces when they set themselves to a difficult task. In game terms, nothing defines the stuff heroes are made of better than their special abilities and superior gear. The growth in stature of a hero in terms of power and renown is tracked in the game using 2 values, valor and wisdom. Both ratings are ranked from 1 to 6, reflecting the gradual transformation of a novice adventurer into a veteran hero. At the beginning of the game, the player heroes have yet to prove their worth and start with a rating of 1 in both, which I have. Among their various effects on gameplay, valor and wisdom grant players a special abilities. Abilities granted by gaining a new rank in wisdom are called virtues, while those gained by an increased rank in valor are called rewards. Virtues give the player heroes access to the peculiar abilities of their folk. Rewards are upgrades that enhance a hero's war gear. War gear. At the start of the game, all players get to choose 1 virtue and 1 reward selected from among those listed in Chapter 5. Okay, so what they chose for me was close fitting for armor or helm. That adds +2 to the result of your protection roll. Interesting. Though maybe... Ooh. Man, do I want better protection or do I want to be reduce the load? Share the load. That's interesting. I like these. These are pretty good. Reinforcing the shield doesn't matter. I'm not going to do keen. I'm not going to do grievous. Fell, those are all great words. Cunning make, so it's either cunning make or close fitting. Man, reducing load. I'm not very strong. I feel like I'm going to take cunning make. I wonder if they did these randomly, because I think the original thing that was given was it was a scholar. So I'm wondering why they gave him that, but I don't know. That's for the leather corselets. So that brings us down from 6 to 4. Or maybe I should put 4 parentheses 6, so I remember. Hello, you're supposed to change what I'm doing, pal. And you're not. There we go. Didn't like that thing. Okay, so now my virtue. Confidence, raised my hope by 2. Dour handed, +1 damage. Hardiness, ooh, that might work. Raise my endurance by 2. Oh, I see. Mastery, choose 2 skills and make them favored. Nimbleness, raise my parry by 1. Prowess, reduce 1 target number by 1. Ooh. Okay, they chose mastery. I feel pretty good with my... I mean, it'll be... Yeah, I could try to go knee deep, but I think I want to take... You know, I'm looking at it like, all right, I'm a messenger. I'm navigating the wilds, so I think hardiness, raising my endurance by 2, maybe is the play that I will take. Harness. All right. Yeah, and I'll just... And it says raise, so I'm assuming... I don't know how these work. Or should I be lowering them? I don't know. I'll find out. We'll have to find out. Okay, now we're going to skip the company because I'm going to have to do that when we're going. So safe haven. So, all right. So now, I guess, mostly done. So pretty good. But I want to see about endurance. So how do we... Where can we see what endurance... Here we go. Endurance and hope. Endurance. Endurance represents a player hero's resistance. It's taken into account whenever an adventurer is subjected to some form of harm. In particular, player heroes lose endurance during combat when they suffer physical damage from any other source or as a consequence of any strenuous task requiring great effort. Player heroes whose endurance is reduced to 0 drop unconscious and wake up after 1 hour with 1 endurance point, unless they're also wounded. All right, so getting more endurance is good, I think. Used in conjunction with the hero's carried load, endurance determines when the weight and bulk of any equipment starts to affect the player hero's performance. All right, so that's probably another good thing to note. I don't see here where I can... I see something for flaws, but I don't see... Did we see flaws? Did I miss flaws? Is there... Madness? All right, no, I need to... Oh, can I go... What is it? Can I control page up? No. Shift page up? Alt page up? I want to go all the way home. All right, how about this? 1. All right, now, what is the next 3? Using flaws. Maybe that comes up later. Oh, I see. Every time. Okay, so I don't have to worry about flaws. All right, so now we asked about... Kako says, tall is a hobbit flaw conceptually? Yeah, I suppose. No, maybe not. It's actually I guess Merry and Pippin were definitely tall. I don't think that reflected a flaw. All right, let's see about travel. Because... I want to see how my travel skill... All right, so let's go to Journey. The map, okay. Traveling company, the roles. All right, so with the traveling company, right, we have the journey roles. It could be the guide, the hunter, the lookout, or the scout. Doesn't say what's for what. So I'm imagining travel is one of these. I don't think they do hexes, Croco. I believe it's basically a point crawl. Although it says hexes here, so maybe not. I don't know. I think, but maybe, I don't know. I don't think they're... When you're getting lost in things, you're not veering off the map. I think they might use hexes just for distance-wise, but I think in terms of the actual procedure, it is a point crawl, is my understanding. But I remember reading this, but it's been a long time ago. Using the player's map, the company shows the lore master the route they intend to follow. The itinerary must connect the location where the company is at the start of the journey and the location seen as the destination. When tracing their journey path, the players must consider that their itinerary can rarely be drawn as the crow flies, that is, connecting the starting point and the destination in a straight line. Instead, due consideration must be given to the lie of the land. And they talk about mountain ranges and rivers that can't easily be traversed. Then the lore master checks the map on the back-end papers and draws the company's itinerary on a copy of the journey log using its hex grid as a path traversing a number of hexes equal to those required to reach the destination, not counting the starting hex. So, and I think in terms of getting lost, you don't get lost veering off into the wilderness. I think it's more delays and mishaps and that kind of thing. So they're using the hexes to sort of, I think, calculate how many checks and do some of that work, but not in terms of going if this is your going from Fornos to Weathertop, you can't end up out in this forest somewhere, for example. I believe is how it works. Okay, so make marching tests. Events take place at specific spots on the journey map. The company determines exactly where the guide of the company must make a marching test. So the guide uses travel. So that might be my big thing. So I think that's probably good with the set of maps for the travel. Okay. And see, depending on where the travel roll, it's basically how far until you hit a test that you have to do. But like I said, I don't know really how much, not knowing, oh, hey, Terrence, your cat got the better of the keyboard. Not knowing what the game is tonight, I have no idea whether it is an ill choice of mine to be doing stuff basically for traveling as opposed to being something more, whatever. So if this is us starting off in Hobbiton and going to Bree or something, then and not being able to just take the road or whatever, or even if we are taking the road, then that probably will work. Well, if it's, I don't know, if we're in the Barrows and we're fighting whites and doing things like that, then maybe not so much. We'll see. I mean, I can always make something new. Having not made a character for the One Ring before, this was not onerous. I like the tool, but the problem with the tool is if I would make it, maybe I'll put a suggestion, is some way to, they give you the list of the choices that they made, but I can't change them. And I'd like to be able to have these be changeable, though I understand it's kind of tough because if you change this, then that, I don't have to do it, but I'd like it where you could kind of use it to do the automations and maybe not the filling in. It seems like once you start filling in, automations just kind of stop. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how other online character generators work, but okay. I think that's about it. So I changed. So here's my wait. Where's mine? A Reginald Roper. And I might try to dig up a different, paste one on top of there. Paste something on top. Or I don't know. Maybe I'll stick with him. I don't know. I don't know. So what do we got? He's a messenger. Shadowing Path is the Wandering Madness. I love wandering. Just the idea of Wandering Madness to me is great. Age is 50. It seems a little bit old. What age is? I feel like he would be a younger. I'm going to say that Traveling the Wilds is a young hobbit's game. What? A young hobbit's game. Let's get back to what's the average age? Heroic culture is what they call it. Okay. Bardings, dwarves, elves, hobbits. What did they say the age was? I thought they said somewhere. Languages, typical names, not there. They say 35. Oh, there we go. 33. Yeah, I'll use 33. He's not 50. He ain't 50. AKA Reggie the Rope, Hobbit Street Mugger. Yeah, sure. Yep. Exactly. You don't want to get on the bad side of Reggie the Roper. You might find yourself tied up in the woods in the old forest somewhere. So, be good. Be good. I mean, I kind of like it. So he's not strong. No one fears the strength of Reggie the Roper, but he's got a lot of heart and he's got wits. And he's pretty aware, and yeah, he can hunt okay. He can sing all right. Yeah, he can make something or two without breaking it. But he's a good traveler. He's got some decent insight. Yeah, he can do a little first aid. He's mostly courteous and a bit persuasive. He's darn stealthy, though. And, like all hobbits, he can riddle you something fierce. And he's got some exploration. He's got maybe a little tookish inquisitiveness. The rewards I took are cunning make of the corselet to reduce the load by 2, which I think particularly because my endurance is not that grand, getting some extra load I thought was a good choice. We'll see. Oh, he's also, he's got his axe, which I think is I feel like axe and bow are good practical weapons and tools. Doesn't have a ring, Croco. No ring. So he's got a bow, an axe, and then a cudgel, just because it seems like you can. Wearing a leather corselet, and a helm. And then, I got, I see. How do you do your load? How do you factor in the load? It looks like, is it load? Because I got 20, I should have 22. Does that mean, I'm just going to add 2, because I'm assuming it's kind of like load minus 5 or something. So I'm just going to say it's, or load minus 6. All right, so make sure that's updated. So, and he's hardy, so it's bumped up his endurance, which is good. He's got a knife for skinning rabbits and a little box of salt, which helps with the hunting stuff. He's got a detailed set of maps that helps with traveling stuff. And he's got his half-starved pony, which he got, I think, because they said he could. So he's got that going for him. He's got, I don't know how this hope is calculated. Hope is heart plus 10. Nope. So my hope is, hold on. Yeah, 16. Okay, no, that's right. Yeah. Hope is heart plus 10. Endurance is strength plus 18, but I got the 2. Extra 2. Right. Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, that's it. That is it. So he's got a few things. I will, I'll have a follow-up when I've actually gotten around to play after the time we're playing. Though, I'm going to be running. So usually on Thursdays, I'm playing the game. But tonight, or Thursday night, I'll be running my game. Because we have an extra, I guess a friend of Daniel, a friend of somebody's is coming to visit. And we decided to do a kind of a one-shot sort of deal instead of the regular campaign. Just because it takes a lot. You bring somebody in for one campaign game, and by the time you've brought them up to speed on what's going on in the campaign, you basically there's no more time left. And you go through when you have a new player who's playing, obviously I had to go through that a year or 2 ago when I joined, basically, which is, it's fine. But then you're investing in playing in a bunch of sessions. You're just going to be there for one session and gone. It's kind of like, well, why do that? Why not do something else? So I volunteered to run something since I want to continue to kind of get some practice running my adventure and running the game. So that'll be fun. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Anywho, I'm not sure if I might be back in a bit to do the on the main channel. I don't know. I'm looking at time is kind of getting squeezed on me, so maybe not. So I do want to keep going through where we started with that. What did they call it? It was a not an accounting, audit of Tower Silveraxe, in the shadow of Tower Silveraxe, which I thought was interesting. But that'll be on the other channel, so look for that there. But it might also be tomorrow because we'll see. Got other things to do. Cargo says, good article. Yeah, it is good. It is good. I feel like it's kind of more of a assessment than an audit, because I think it's more for, well, I don't know. I want to see if there's any follow-ups where they actually use that to play through it, or if it's just kind of assessing it as kind of like a review. But we'll see. I have not read ahead what we got to. So, folks, thanks so much for hanging out. I will maybe back later, or I'll be back tomorrow or whatnot, and we'll talk about all that went on. Now, then, and beyond, have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you end up watching or listening to this. Game on, everybody. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Croco. Bye now.